Go!
Welcome to Curling Podcast.
Yay!
Yeah. It is on air and already 始まりました。
始まりましたね。
はい。
イェイよっ。
So, welcome and so I'm confused which language I should speak, but I can try my best.
日本語で
始めたいと思います。
お願いします。お願いします。
So, ゲストの紹介をします。First, I'd like to introduce our very, very big special guest. So, Mr. Niklas Edin.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Yeah. We were dreaming that kind of guest from somebody from abroad coming to our podcast, but I didn't imagine that it would be you. We can have this big guest like you. Too big, but thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm just home recovering, so I have plenty of time this summer, and then hopefully back curling again in a few months. But until then, I'll just make sure to recover.
Yeah. It is a little bit unfortunate, but fortunate for us. Like, you have time. But we really wish you a quick recovery.
Thank you.
Yeah. And right now, more than 300, almost 400 Japanese curling fans are connecting to that. And so if you can have another devices, so you can see, but lots of curling fans giving lots of comments on live chat comments, so like welcome King Edin, how welcome, thanks for joining curling Numa. And also some Swedish words is here. I don't know how they can make it.
本当だ、すごい。
すごいですね。
湧いてますね。
素晴らしいです。Okay. And then
I can't see any of the comments, just so people know. But if there are any questions and comments, I'm sure you will translate that for me, and then I can answer.
Sure. We have questions, and later, so we will pick up some comments from the live chatting, and then we really hope to have some communication with the current fans.
Of course.
Yeah. And also, in addition, even everyone knows who you are, but I like to quickly introduce you what you have achieved in the curling world. So like I'm displaying the history, so Olympic Games, gold, silver, bronze, World Men's Curling Championship, 7 gold, silver, 2 bronze, etc. Junior, university. So it is kind of almost hard to explain everything here, but we have our living legend here.
Yeah, I've been a long career already, so I'm starting to feel old, but I'm not too old in curling terms yet, luckily.
Yeah. And as I have explained, like I participated university at the game here, it is different. So if I performed better, so I could turn this gold to silver. But unfortunately, I was not playing such nice. But it's a good memory. Okay.
I remember that was a good event. A lot of good teams already back then. Yeah.
I agree. Okay. So I also like to introduce our other special guest from Team Yoshimura Fortis. So
よかった、忘れられてなかったですね。
忘れてないです。
よかった、よかった。
大宮アンナさんと小野寺佳穂さんです。
こんばんは。よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
今日は一視聴者として参加したいと思います。私もです。 楽しみにしてきました。
いや
よろしくお願いします。
ひな壇芸人みたいになってますけど
わ
我々でひな壇を形成していきましょう。
はい、盛り上げていきたいと思います。
盛り上げていきましょう。
よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。Do you understand what they are saying in Japanese? Roughly in your captions? Hopefully?
Not at all, because the captions are too slow to pick it up.
Okay.
So I can only see like 1 or 2 words per sentence you say. So, but I kind of get the hang of it a little bit as long as I get some of the captions. But the captions weren't fast enough that time.
Okay.
結構日本語たくさん覚えたと思ったんですけどね。
で、日本語。
まだわかんないか。
Yeah. They think you learned lots of Japanese words, but still it should be tough to learn Japanese.
Yeah, I maybe I learned maybe 20 words or something like that. So like very limited still. But I think with the captions here, I think it's when we switch between people, it kind of seems like it only catches one of the words and then it skips over to translate the next person. So I think when we come to like the question parts, then we should take just a couple of seconds between each person so that it has time to translate. Because my Japanese is definitely not good enough to understand a quick sentence that I'm like, what?
Okay. Okay, so we are really excited, curling fans excited, but we'd like to go into our main topics gradually. But at the beginning,
Perfect.
So everyone in Japan was really surprised that you joined Team Yoshimura Frontier's as a coach. So I'm showing a picture of it. So like you are coaching wearing the same uniform with other ladies. So it was kind of really surprising thing. And I don't know. And probably Japanese curling fans really want to know. So how it can be possible that you coach Japanese team. So who started that?
Yeah, that was very interesting. After each Olympics, then we usually take a couple of seasons with like less competing, less traveling, kind of recovering a little bit because we push really hard going into the Olympics. So then the year after the Olympics, then I coached a little bit in Canada, so kind of got the hang of it a little bit, and I also did some commentating for the Women's World Championship, for example. And the Europeans. That actually kind of started after I got injured. I had a surgery on my knee during that season as well. So it opened up some time, and I had some opportunities to try something else because I couldn't play and train and practice curling as much as I normally do. So then I tried some coaching and I tried some commentary while I was still recovering that knee. And then the following season, then I was kind of back to playing more again. And then I obviously was playing myself, so I couldn't commentate championships while I was still competing. But then, and I also wasn't coaching anymore in Canada. So then Anna asked me if I wanted to coach. And for me, it was just a little bit unexpected, but it was a fun opportunity. I like coaching and I like everything curling, especially teams that are kind of up and coming, really interested and really trying to push hard to become as good at curling as they can possibly be. So right away, it was not an easy decision, but it was easy to kind of want to coach. And then obviously a lot of details, and it's a huge distance from both Sweden to Japan and then to Canada, where we compete a lot too. So it makes it practically a bit of a challenge, but it was definitely easy just saying yes, trying to coach a little bit if I can. So, and I think it worked out pretty well. We didn't have that much time together, but it was a lot of fun. And I think we, both me coaching and them as players. I think we learned a lot with the time we had together.
Yeah, definitely we are taking advantage of that your attitude. So you are always trying to learn something even off ice. So that's really nice. カホさん、アンナさん、エディンさんとコーチ受けてみてどうでしたか？楽しかったですか？
いや、なんかでも本当にカーリングを突き詰めてやっている方なので、なんだろう、私たちも本当に20年以上カーリングやってるんですけど、それでもまだ知らないことがいっぱい教えていただいたので、本当に貴重な時間をいただきました。
Even they played more than 20 years, still so lots of new things from you to learn, and it was so precious moment to share the time sharing with you. She said.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's definitely going both ways. I still have lots to learn as a coach as well. Like I've been very devoted to curling for at least 20 years now. But still coaching it, we're trying to like translate that into teaching someone else. It's definitely a skill. It doesn't come just overnight just because you have some knowledge. It's not instantly gonna translate into being a good coach for sure. So for me, it's gonna take some time too. And it like the first few meetings we had, then I kind of I maybe had some of the knowledge, but I wasn't sure exactly how to translate it into something that a team can just pick up right away. Especially in their team, they are also different ages and have played curling for quite a long time, but also a couple in the team were a lot younger and haven't played for as long. So then to find the right balance and the right level with very, very short amount of time was definitely a little bit of a challenge. But I definitely felt all of them really wanted to learn. So that made it a lot more fun for me trying to coach as well. They all just like sucked up all the information like a sponge. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I think we had a lot of time to go through, and I learned just as much as they did from that, especially that week during the nationals. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, sounds very good. So I know you traveled at least twice last year to Japan. So first time maybe the Karuizawa International Championships and then Japanese Curling Championships. And you met so many Japanese curling fans. So how was the impression of Japanese curling and kind of like an atmosphere, curling fans, the passion? So
yeah, it's been super nice every time. We've been to Karuizawa a few times before. They always treat the teams super nicely, and like so much respect in Japan in general, like compared to all the other or like nations we travel to. Like most people are super friendly in curling no matter where you go, but I think especially in Japan that you can kind of feel it's a different kind of respect amongst people, even if you just go to the store or at the train station, wherever it is, like you always get really well treated and very welcome. So for us, it's kind of when we go to Japan, we just try to not do something disrespectful because it's obviously different cultures, and we're kind of used to maybe joking around a little bit. And when we kind of talk to other teams in Canada or on tour, it's kind of this kind of fun banter going between curling teams. We always joke around with each other, and it's kind of very like very easy going. So I think for a lot of teams when we come to Japan, it's like everyone is kind of overwhelmed with how nice everyone is, and like very hospitable, like take care of each other and huge respect. So I think a lot of people the first time they kind of get a little bit of a shock, kind of how nice everyone is, and like no one is kind of messing with you or making a joke on your behalf or something like that. Everyone's very polite. So it's super nice, but I think it's also a little bit of a kind of a getting used to for people that come to Japan for the first time. It's you kind of really make sure you don't say anything that would be like considered like disrespectful or something like that. So I think now after having been to Japan a few times, and now I can kind of also start joking around a little bit with the curlers I know, and it's a very nice and easygoing atmosphere just in general. So always love coming back to Japan, and I think I've only heard that from everyone I've like heard going to Japan, or curlers that have been competing in Karuizawa. They kind of all say the same thing, that it's just super nice. All the people are taking care of you. Make sure you're having fun and having a good time.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So we all happy to hear those kind of statements from you, especially from you, like Karin King is really feeling good about, but thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So I really wanted you to shifting to coach mode in your mind. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I will soon display one curling board, which is a crazy station. Well, first of all, so I need to explain that last year, so we created curling calendar for 2024, and we decided to not only the athlete pictures or photos, so we added one strategy board to discuss which shots to be thrown next. So we selected 12 little bit complicated situation, or kind of do some discussion between athletes and also sometimes including curling fans. How about your opinion? What is the question from you guys? Like those kind of things. And June, so we have this station. So like, that's why specifically we inviting you to this. So most of curling fans know this station. So this is 10th and 2 down with hammer, and we have only one shot to throw.
Is this just a quick question, because I don't have this on my screen? So is this like, because I can't see the situation?
Yeah, this is a situation, so which is used through the spinner.
なんかこう動かして説明したいんですね。
でも So yeah, just Nick wants to know, so which one I'm displaying. So I'm now on the display the strategy board of the station, so which used through the spinner. So I'm answering the situation. So there is a kind of double corner guard, which is kind of angle frozen, so we cannot throw any run back, raise takeout. And also opponent's stone's red stone was corner frozen to our own yellow stone. So it is kind of 99.99% of colors, so like shake hand, it might be the option. But you through something, and that's the something. So specifically, so we'd like to hear about this shot, maybe. But first, I'd like to show everybody so how it was like thrown. So I communicated with World Curling and give their permission to show the video clip of your spinner. Yeah. So I'm currently trying to show this.
This would be the best shot in history.
So even you cannot see, but if you can a little bit slide your screen, so probably you can see. So what I'm predicting, maybe not. Yeah, it's not really, but
あ、そっか、携帯だからか。
So, yeah.
Well, I still know what happens. So
yeah. So it's yeah.
取りま
Yeah. Then and you scored 2. So this is it. So people is saying they watched this many times already. And also, of course, the person who threw this you is really good, but also sweepers are so nice or too nice. I don't know how they can judge this shot to make it succeed. Yeah. But it was a video, so I've shown the video. So I have several questions about this, so I'd like to ask you about it. Okay. The first one is, what did you and your teammates discuss before you decided to throw that spinner? So このショットを投げる前にチームメイトと何を話しましたか? So I don't know, have completely no idea. So what kind of discussion happened before throwing this? So could you a little bit explain about what happened before you threw this?
Yeah, I think we had a pretty good situation in like the end before. So we were up in that game, kind of felt confident, and then we gave up a lead of 2 points going into the last end. So obviously we needed 2 for an extra end or 3 to win it. So the whole end we kind of tried to play offensively, try to generate 3 points because stealing is not going to be a big chance no matter what. But then at the end of it, when it came down to the last rock, that was the situation I was left with. And then obviously you can't draw for 1 or anything, like the game is over unless you score 2. So the only theoretical chance to still win the game is to try and make that rock in the house count. But it was second shot behind their shot that was kind of frozen or almost frozen on an angle. So we kind of figured that the only way to remove it or kind of make it go out of there so we can score 2 is to throw more spin. Like with a normal kind of shot, there was nothing there. It would have just stopped on 2 hours and just for 1 point then. So we kind of right away just looked at like that situation in the house, no matter where the guards were. The only way to score 2 is by throwing a lot of rotation, hit it like anywhere basically on the high side, like closer to the middle. And then the rotation will make the other one spin off. But then obviously the thrown rock will get a lot of rotation too. So speed needs to be enough to kind of kick it out of there, but not enough to then continue too far.
Yeah.
So we kind of right away knew that theoretically it's possible. But then it's just so difficult to know how much it will curl and what kind of speed needs to be thrown for the effect to kind of be exactly what it needs to be. But at the same time, we had no other choice. So the discussion was basically theoretically we need to throw a spinner. Practically, how do we do it? And then the tricky part came into play because I don't think any of us really knew like where exactly do we need to aim. And the rocks were very sharp as well. So even though we've tried these before in like local curling rinks and stuff, and even in other curling games, we've tried something similar. But each time it depends so much on the rocks and the ice, how much it will actually curl and how much speed you need to throw. So it was very much just a guess from all of us. So Oscar and Rasmus in my team, they throw them a little bit more just for fun at practice, and they've gotten really good at this. Like in our home club, doing shots like this. For me, I kind of feel like it's so rare that you ever have to use them, and even if you have to use them, it's such a low percentage shot to make. But I tried it just actually like the day before we left for Worlds because I felt happy with everything else. So then I asked Rasmus and Oscar like, okay, so what do you do when you throw it? How much rotation? What kind of speed do you use? And it turned out it was I wouldn't say easier, but it's not as complicated as it first looks. So once you throw at practice, if you try like 20 or 30 of those rotations, and you kind of figure out how to control the rotation, and then you see where it ends up, then like for most good curlers, I think you can learn to be close in just a few tries. But then it's still going to be a guess when you come to the ice rink or arena, how much it's going to curl and what speed you need to throw, how much rotation, like what the effects will be. It's still going to be a guess. No matter how many of those you throw, it's still going to be a guess again. So, went back to the hack, kind of just talked to the guys, what kind of speed do you think? Just a little bit less than normal draw. And then roughly curl about a meter or something, like 4 or 5 feet of curl until it contacts. The rocks were sharp, so it was going to curl maybe 3 times as much as it would have in our own curling rink where we practiced, in the practice rink we played in before Worlds. So it was still a guess, and then I just like fluked it away. It looked close, so we were like, oh, maybe this has a chance. And then the sweepers did a great job judging it. So it didn't have too much speed, and it didn't curl too soon, too early. And then we actually didn't hit enough of the rock. So if we hit maybe an inch more of the rock, it would have looked really easy. It would have made it for 2, like instantly, super easy. But now we hit it a little bit too soon. So then it didn't kick it very far sideways, and then our shooter kept spinning. So just a couple of millimeters thicker, but we're going to make it for 2 for sure. 1 millimeter less, it was going to go through the rings probably. Yeah. So we hit just enough, but we had more margin thicker. So the shot was definitely there with that kind of speed. We had probably 3 or 4 inches of margin to where we could have hit it and still get it for 2.
I understand. Thank you so much. So yeah, it is really impressive. Like you knew theoretically it is possible, so that you can focus, even if it was just a guess, but how much it curls, what kind of speed do you need. So so how to make it, so you could focus on how to make it, and then had a good discussion. And also you and Rasmus, other teammates, knew about a little bit more about the spinner, far better than average curlers, I believe. But yeah, it was so impressive.
Yeah, I think kind of the more interesting part about that shot is kind of like what you were talking about now, is kind of that we kind of knew the shot was there before we played it. So I think it kind of, especially kind of hearing the comments and like people coming up to us after that shot was played, a lot of people didn't think it was there. Even the commentators were surprised of the effect the spin had on the shot. So I think kind of what was more kind of important for curling, seeing that shot, is that I think a lot of players and teams and nations in curling kind of realize there is another level to curling, like the rotation and the effects and like watching what happens when they hit in the house, etc. Like we've all known about the drag effects for many years. If they are close together, they act more as one unit. But there are a lot of variables in curling, like physically and like chemically as well. The ice conditions and the rocks are different materials, and you use a lot of different knowledge in the game of curling. So I think it just opened up a little bit of a good discussion for curling as in general, not just making a spinner. I think that's still a very low percentage shot. We try not to use it. If we have anything else, we would try anything else before we try a spinner. But we still know the effects that the spin has, and like what happens in the house when we hit rocks, etc. And I think that opened up a very healthy kind of discussion, and like opened up the views for a lot of curlers out there. So I think that was still a very good thing. Kind of the sweeping summit had a few years ago, when we tried all the different materials and sweeping and what can the sweeping actually do. This was kind of a miniature variation of that. It just kind of caused for good discussions among curling teams.
Yeah, it's really kind of surprising. Even the curling has more than 100 years of history. The ice was there and stones are there, but still something new happened, like spinner, as you mentioned, directional sweeping, or drag effect, or so many mysteries still inside it. And I really wish those kind of new things will be revealed. It should be an evolution of curling. So that's a really fun part of it. Yeah. How about the impression? アンナさん、そう、初めてスピナーショットを見たときの感想というか。
そうですね。まず、実際に試合で、そういうショットを挑戦するっていうのがなかなか自分には経験がなかったので、そのショットがあるって分かってるのもすごいし、挑戦するのもすごいなと思いました。で、そのショット見た後は、やっぱり日本中、世界中のカーラーそうだったと思いますけど、みんなスピナーの練習してたと思います。
Everyone is doing this. Practicing.
やっぱりあれだけ回すっていうのは結構手首にも来るし、上手じゃないと。で、どういう風に石が動いていくかっていうのを、回転によってあれだけ動き方が違うっていうのが、やっぱり自分たちももっと挑戦すべきだったけれども、常識にとらわれてというか、これまでやってきたことにとらわれすぎてて、なかなかその枠から出ていかなかったみたいなところがあったので、そういう新しい、視点っていうところをもらって、しかも世界のトップ選手が大真面目にそれをやってるっていう、一見遊びのように見えちゃうじゃないですか。普段なかなか見ないショットなので、それをやっぱり普段の練習から大真面目に遊んでるんだなっていうのを、その試合を見ても感じましたし、私たちコーチングしてもらってる中でも、やっぱりもっともっと、カーリングを遊ばなきゃいけないんだなっていうのに気づかされました。
ありがとうございます。Yeah, we are really impressed by your attitude to the curling. So you are kind of like seriously having fun.
Yes.
And so I think so things like you try such and also practice the special shot like spinner, and also you trying to coach somebody from Japan. So those kind of things a little bit outside of the box kind of type of thinking. So and you learned a lot, and still when you won the World Curling Championship this year, after that, so that is really, surprising. But it's really nice to see the top player like you is having fun seriously. That's really, really nice.
Obviously, that is super important in anything you do. You got to have a bit of fun, and I think it is almost used too much, kind of that illusion that your job or anything you do has to be fun. I think it doesn't really always have to be fun, but I think at the end of the day, if you're not having fun, it's going to be stealing a lot more energy from you than you get back. So I think you need to try to make it fun still. So not every event, not every day is going to be fun or perfect. But I think for you to continue to do it for a long time, I think you still kind of need to get more energy from it than it takes away from you. So I think at the end of the day, you should try to make it fun. And if you don't think it is fun, maybe it's time to do something else. So for me, it still has a lot to do with if it's fun or not. But at the same time, I don't think every day, every practice, every game, every tournament, every season even, it is as fun. Sometimes it's just, maybe I want to do something else than this. And I've definitely had those kind of moments too. And that I think is, it's very important that you then allow yourself to do something else. And that's kind of when the coaching and commentary and doing other sports and stuff comes in for me. So when curling only, it isn't like as fun as I want it to be, then I like to challenge myself with something else. So I think that's kind of part of it. It's part of making curling as a whole more fun. So that would maybe be a bit of a recommendation for other curlers out there, or maybe even if it's not curling, maybe it's your job or relationship or whatever it might be. If it's not as fun as you want it to be at the moment, maybe it's kind of fun to try something else for a moment, or take influences from something else. And for me, the coaching and going to Japan was definitely one of those. It just made it more fun, and see more curlers, how they do, kind of point of views were a little bit different in the beginning, but I think after a few days we kind of started looking at things the same way, and it's just easy to come together with other people that are like dedicated their lives to the same thing. So even if we come from different places, we kind of still have the same passion for it. So for me, the coaching was definitely one of those. It just made it more fun. Same thing with the commentary. Bit of a like challenge, but at the end of the day, it kind of increased my gratitude towards the sport and the fun factor that I feel for curling. And I think it actually just gave me and my team better chances to win the World Championship. Just being in a good state of mind, getting some positive influences from other things than just practicing. So I think for me, it was super valuable.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So I got lots of things learn from you now. Yeah.
そうなんですよ。もう1分1秒を全部学びで、本当に情報過多になるんですけど、本当に、それでも本当にもっと学びたい、なんか自分たちもっと成長できることあるみたいなのが、どんどん出てきて、すっごく頭使うんですけど、すっごく楽しかったんですよね。
Every moment, every minute, every second is learning from you, and that's really making us thinking about how to improve ourselves. But it is kind of like a heavy load for our brains. But at the same time, it's so fun to have that. So I really little bit envy like Anna and Akaho spend a lot of time with you.
Yeah,
Okay.
They thought it was going to be an easy week. I'm just going to be chilling, let them do whatever they want. But no, it was just learning every day.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so I have one little bit tough question. No. This is a kind of just an easy one. So it was tough situation to get 2 points, and you chose spinner. Did you throw it with confidence? But you already answered. So how you was thinking? So I really wanted to go to the next tough question. So my tough question is, what should beginners do at this station? So I know that you're a professional, like kind of the master of curling, can throw spinner. What should beginners do in this situation? If you're a coach.
Yeah, that is a tricky question, but I think the same thing, actually, because like theoretically, if there is nothing else, I think a lot of teams kind of they still kind of choose to do something they are confident in. So like if they've never tried the super heavy takeout or a spinner, something like that, then it's very easy to feel insecure and maybe not dare to kind of try it. And then if you miss, it's embarrassing. But I think that is kind of the important thing for a beginner or for juniors or someone that is kind of trying to learn the game. I think that's one of the most important things, that you dare to try new things. So I would recommend the team, even if they're beginners, I would recommend them in that situation. Just kind of let them know there is nothing else. So what you have to try in this occasion is a load of spin and then hope for the best. And most likely you're going to miss it, but you're also going to learn from it. So I think that is probably the important message in that situation. They're almost for sure going to miss the shot. But I think the important thing is to dare to try it.
really, really nice words to have. Thank you so much. Yeah, as long as we knew there is theoretically a chance to succeed, so probably just try. Even if we miss, we can learn from that. So, yeah. Okay, that's kind of encouraging beginners. So let's try. Okay. So thank you so much about the lots of discussions about the spinners. And some of the current fans asked a little bit, wanted to ask a little bit about the past World Men's Curling Championship, especially the last shot you made. So again, congratulations for winning the world in the April. So it was 2 months ago, but 7th title. So it was so outstanding performance. And also I'd like to show the video clip to everybody watching this stream. So how your last shot was made. So I'm streaming now the video.
Uh-oh, gotta stop now.
よかったね。
あったよ。
うん。
Yeah.
Oh, very nice memories.
Very nice memory. It should be. So, I think Gushu did his best for the previous shot, and even there was a path to win, but it wasn't very easy draw. We all guess, but could you? And also the path was a little bit outside, not to the center, little bit outside. So it should be there should be some frost or something. So the speed of the ice may not be super clear. We just guess. But could you a little bit explain about how was the situation and what you discussed, or what was your mental attitude before slowing, or what you thought you were thinking when you were slowing? So could you show us your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. It was it was a very well played game in general, and I think we played really well the whole championship. And I think for me personally, I've probably never played as consistently, except for a couple of games early in the event where they papered the rocks, and it was fairly frosty because it was raining almost every single day the first week, I think, and no dehumidifiers. So in general, throughout the whole event, it was very frosty conditions. And it seemed like almost all the teams struggled a little bit more than we did, I'd say. I think we picked it up fairly quickly how to play on that ice, and we after the first 4 or 5 games we were playing at a really high level, so it felt like we had the confidence, we definitely had kind of the momentum going into the final. But then playing a team like Brad Gushu, they're always gonna make you work hard for the win. So even if we were up a couple of points going into the 9th end, we knew most likely we're going to have to make a good shot to win this event. It's just not going to be easy or just a clear open draw for the win or something like that. They always make the opposition play something good. And then in that last end where he makes that little hit and roll, if he kind of makes the nose hit, we probably have a fairly easy draw for the win, like the same draw, but inside the frost, it would have been not a gimme, but it would have been a shot I would definitely think we make almost every single time. But now when he rolled it to cover that easy draw to the button, and then also pushed us out all the way in the frost, so you're not really sure how deep into the frost we're gonna need to go, because it was curling lots too. So if it curls too early, you're gonna over curl anyways. But if you keep it out there too long, it's just going to catch too much of the frost and just die. So definitely tried to find something else to play. I remember after a day rolled and stopped in that position, I was just looking at every rock in the house and kind of just hoping there was something else than that draw. So it was definitely a last resort kind of thing. Like it looked like the only shot to play, and after looking at everything else, there really was no other option. It was so unlikely to do anything else. So we just had to go for it. So not sure what kind of split times we were discussing, but it was really heavy for sure. So it was one of the like hardest kicks out of the hack for a draw that I played all event. So it was definitely felt like let's just hope this is slowing down as much as we think it will. And then obviously when it got closer to the second hog line, then you can see the sweepers start really sweeping it, because then it was deep into that frost and it started slowing down. But then kind of the second issue that maybe we didn't really have time to discuss enough, because we were low on the clocks as well, was when it gets out of that frost, it's going to keep sliding again. So that's why we almost got caught on the other side of it, where like once it got out of that frost, it didn't keep losing speed as it had until then. So then when it kind of kept sliding in the end, it was actually really close to sliding too far. So in hindsight, looking back at it, it was almost a trickier shot than we thought it was going to be. We talked a lot about keeping it wide enough and throwing enough speed, and then kind of need to keep the brushes down. But then the second part of it was that once it comes out of that frost, it was a lot faster again. So definitely a tricky shot for a team, and really like a good drill, I guess, for a team to do as well. It really involves all four individuals to make that shot. So after it was made, we were all super thrilled, super happy, obviously, because it could definitely have gone wrong.
Yeah, definitely. After hearing that, so I really want to watch this again. So how they swept. Okay, here we go. So sweeping, but they need to stop it. Yeah. Last moment it's slided a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just because it was a little bit wider than everything we had played before, and then it's so easy to feel how much it's slowing down. But at the same time, as a sweeper, you never really know exactly where the line is going, because it depends so much on both the line and the speed. So once you, as the sweeper, when you start feeling it slowing down, then you're almost always going to get that sense of, oh shit, we need to sweep this because it's really digging into the frost right now. But then kind of when it starts sliding, and it's so easy to kind of just keep sweeping because you felt it already started to slow down. So that was a really tricky shot, but I think maybe it also helped us a little bit that we were low on the clock, so we just had to make a decision, go for it, and then just judge it best as we could. And if it wasn't made, then they played a really nice end and made us play that tricky draw as well. So if we would have lost, then it would have been hats off to them. So, but this time we were lucky it stopped in time.
Yeah, some curling fans really think that this is a team shot made by all the four people in your team. And also sweeper's weight judge was so perfect. Yes, the timing of sweep or stop sweeping, the timing judgment was so good. Yeah. It was kind of...
Another part to the shot too was that where he rolled to, we almost needed some curl in the end so it wasn't really enough to just hit the T line. It was kind of like keeping it wide enough early, but then we needed a lot of finish. So you couldn't just sweep it for T line either. You had to make sure you could kind of get that extra little bit of curl to hit enough of the forefoot in the end. So that there was definitely room, but it was tricky for both like the speed for the thrower, but then also like knowing exactly where the the broom and the frost and the sweepers. It was definitely a good team shot. So like if it would be possible to practice those more often, I think that would be something to practice. But at the end of the day, you're never going to really know where that frost is. So usually they come up for those kind of last shot of the end. You have to make a qualified guess. But if you could practice it or find a similar situation, it would be a like excellent team shot to practice.
So I think Aho and Anna will practice this too.
はい。はい。
Yeah, sometimes so we always practice the draw to the center, the pin. So because it is important, so every game so we need to throw LSD. So that's a big part of it. But sometimes so the skip need to face a situation like we need to draw to a little bit outside. And sometimes we shot were too strong and the stolen points, multiple points sometimes happen. So yeah, that should be very, very important to practice to have a better guess about the frost or sweeping judge. Yeah. Thank you for calling fun. Yeah.
The draw to the
go
middle.
ahead.
It's usually a shot that is played so often as well. So like going to the middle, you have so much information to go on. So that one is a lot easier because you have all that information. All the four players have thrown to the middle. You've swept in those paths. It's never going to be as frosty. It might slow down at the end of the game, but all of those things are still easier to predict. So I think that's the good idea what you're mentioning there, to kind of not always just throw the draw to the button, because they, at the end of the day, they are fairly easy to make nowadays. Like we know the amount of curl, the ice is usually good enough in all events we play. And so the draw to the button is nowadays the easiest shot in curling. It's such a well thrown rock for all teams out there. But if you go somewhere outside of that, then it's a lot more about that qualified guess. It's kind of throwing a good material, but you're not going to be 100% sure. So that takes a lot more of the kind of knowledge and skill into the game. Throwing to the middle is something that all teams are very good at nowadays.
Totally makes sense. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so now we completed. So what I have been planning so far, and I asked some questions from fans, and yeah, really nice. So we are almost closing the session, but I like to hear something from Anna and Kaho, just a kind of reviewing, thinking back to your last season together with Nick. Like, so I'd like to get some comments from Anna and Kaho about your season with Nick and also this streaming. 日本語でも英語でも、まあ、ニックと一緒にやったシーズンとか、今回初めて一緒に YouTube やってみてとか。じゃあカオさんからどっちが先行きますか？
じゃあ私、
はい、日本語で大丈夫です。
日本語でいいですか？ちょっと私も英語があんまり堪能じゃないので、ちょっとエディンさんのお話が全部は分からなかったので、もう一回 YouTube を見返してもっともっと勉強したいと思います。で、やっぱり今シーズンは本当に日本選手権でエディンさんがついてくれて、本当にすいません、ちょっと実家にいて時計が鳴ってるかもしれないです。すいません。すいません。
実家あるある。
はい、実家あるあるです。すいません。時計が鳴っちゃいました。で、本当にたくさんのことを学んだシーズンだったので、この学びを必ず次のシーズンに生かしていきたいと思います。今日はありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。アンナさん。
はい。そうですね。昨シーズン ニックにコーチとして指導していただけることになって、私もカホも、10年くらい前から多分ニックと友達でちょこは合わせてはいたんですけれど、実際にこういう風に指導してもらえる機会があるとはもう全然思ってなかったんですが、うまくタイミングがあったということで、本当にさっきもお話ししたんですけれども、自分がこれまでやってきたカーリングは何だったのかぐらい、本当に毎日毎日新しいことを学ばせてもらって、なんかここまでやってると、自分があとどれだけ成長できるかっていう、伸びしろの部分が、見出すのが難しくなってくる時期ではあるんですけれど、そこがぐんと大きく、伸びしろを見つけてくれたというか、すごく、またカーリング楽しいな、もっと成長したいなっていう気持ちが、今までよりもさらに出てきて、なんかそれがすごく一番ありがたかったかなっていうふうに思ってます。やっぱチームとしても、やっぱ世界一を目指すにあたっては、戦術だったりだとか、あとは大会に向けての、やっぱりチャンピオンのメンタリティの部分を学びたかったので、それを学ぶには本当にもう最高の、方に、ついていただけるということで、本当にこの機会を無駄にしないように、みんな毎日毎日必死になって、学ばせてもらってます。で、今日も、いっぱい勉強することがあったなと思って、私ももう一度 YouTube 見返して、はい、学び直したいなと思いました。岩永さんのおかげでこうやって、カーリング沼がこんなに成長して、素晴らしいゲストをお迎えしてっていうことになったので、これからも、カーリング沼も成長させていけるように、私も微力ながら関わらせてもらえたら嬉しいなと思いました。ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。Thank you very much. So, Nick, thank you for joining us. And we'd like to have your final comments about your past season, your future season, and also if you have something comment to Japanese curling fans or some your thought about joining podcast like this. So if you have some idea, could you tell us?
Yeah, definitely. I think if I begin with the season we had, I think it wasn't the best of seasons, but then at the same time, winning Worlds made up for all the bad tournaments we also played. So you're not going to win them all, but our aims were really set high towards the World Championship, especially the Europeans. I kind of injured both my shoulder and my wrist, so I've just done a surgery. So the second half of the season wasn't the best. I kind of changed a little bit of the team dynamics and practice and the amount that I could kind of go into training. So kind of had to shift the focus towards the Worlds, and that was the big one. We haven't won a championship in 3 of them, I think. So that was a big goal. Couldn't play the Europeans last year and the Worlds last year. I was recently coming back from a knee surgery, so it feels like it's been like a year or 2 since I was in like good form, and us as a team that we were like in good form, playing together, no injuries, and just practicing and training the way we wanted to. So going into the World Championship, that felt like a massive side goal to then be ready for the Olympics, which is the main goal, obviously. So after that season, we were all super thrilled that we could get back to winning the World Championship. Now we all feel that we still have what it takes. But then for me personally, it's just I needed to come back from those injuries. So I've recently had 2 surgeries and now going to just recover for a couple of months and get back to training and curling again. So I'm very excited about that, and hopefully hopefully in less pain and able to train and practice more again. So that will be a lot more like curling should be, pain-free and fun. So hopefully next season we can do well again, and then we're going to compete a little bit less, travel a little bit less, some more time for recovering and training and all that. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And then next season after that is the Olympics. So that's going to be the main one for all curling teams again. So it's pretty quickly. It feels like we just played the Olympics, but now it's just a year and a half away to the next one. So super excited. And then about this podcast, I think it's been a really good one. It's like we get a lot of questions for like smaller things to do, small podcasts and stuff. But I think this was really fun that it was an hour long, so you can actually get a lot of like good questions in there, and also show some clips explaining situations, and also like the answers can be a little more for the fans, not just a yes or no question. You can actually give some insights to the game. So I think that was a lot of fun. I hope that the fans liked it too. And then if they have some more questions, I know the time is running out now, but we can certainly do this sometime again. Or if they have questions, they can always just message any of us, I guess, and I'll answer to anything I can.
Yeah, thank you so much. So definitely next season, next off, we will invite you again. We wish to have you again here, and we hope we can discuss other topics, another crazy shot, or another winning curling championship, or some other things to be discussed. We have no idea, but we all we know now is that we have lots of things learn from you, and we not only just only for curling on ice strategy, but also kind of how to improve ourselves inside curling, outside curling, on ice, off ice. So those kind of things are so much good moment for us. So yeah, thank you again for coming to this YouTube streaming. So we all had a super nice moment with you. So there are comments. Thanks Nick for joining our curling podcast. So, and also thank you Benny for your next season as well. So we all wish you nice recovery from your injury, and also we wish you a very good next season.
Thank you. And if you try too many spinners, this might happen. So be careful.
Oh my gosh.
When you try the spinners. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Thank you, かほさん、アンナさん、again. ありがとうございました。
ありがと
あり
うございました。
がとうございま
Yeah.
す。
Thank curling fans. So thank you for joining. 今日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。There are still more than 600 people watching this. So thank you so much. So
ありがとうございます。
So have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
おやすみなさい。
おやすみなさ
Take care,
い
everybody.